This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about construction, real estate development, economic development, really the growth and development expansion, anything that makes Omaha more prosperous and vibrant. Fun show, good things to talk about. And without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest co-host, substituting for the vacationing Trenton Magid, and that is a name and a voice you know well, Brad Williams of Brad Williams Photography and E&A Consulting. Good morning, Brad.
I suppose when you're a legendary real estate broker, you need a few weeks of vacation.
Yeah, you know, and the more legendary you are, supposedly the more vacationing you do. Oh. And so Trenton is definitely legendary. But it doesn't matter because we've got you, and we can always count on you. And our listeners know you very well, Brad.
Yeah, and I always enjoy coming on. There's so many great things in this city to talk about, so it's always fun to be here.
Brad does so many of our photographs that we use in Grow Omaha publications, like the Grow Omaha newsletter. If you're not getting the Grow Omaha newsletter, just go to the website. On the navigation bar, click on Market Report. That's what it's officially called. We just call it newsletter, but it's really the weekly market report. You can see every weekly market report we've ever published, and you can sign your name up to receive those. Also, you may recall if you were listening last week, I mentioned we have some to-be-announced changes looming on the horizon at Grow Omaha. Can't tell you a lot of details yet other than to say we are going to greatly expand our news coverage. So if you like what we talk about, there's going to be more of it coming pretty soon. Happy College World Series Championship weekend, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very exciting time. Brad, we've got the Texas A&M Aggies versus the Tennessee Volunteers. You and I were just at breakfast this morning at La Peep as we were walking out. A bunch of Aggie fans were coming in. I tell you what, A&M and Tennessee, they might not be quite to the spending level of LSU, but they're good for the Omaha economy.
Yeah, you know, I've been down there a lot. I've been photographing a lot of the games, and it's been a great series. It started off with a bunch of really good games, and there's been great crowds. You know, we had one weather delay, but overall, I feel like it's been a great series. You know, it's interesting. Ever since they switched to this format where you have the 3-game championship at the end, which has been many years now, it's always kind of interesting to see the hordes of fans and alumni for the 2 qualifying schools that come in all of a sudden. Tickets for tonight's game are going at a pretty good premium. Yeah, everyone's favorite meteorologist Rusty Lord posted on Facebook that secondary market tickets the cheapest tickets are going for nearly $500. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, and we love it. It just means that's it's a good sign that a lot of people are coming in. You know what I also like about it? The more this event takes off, the better it is for Omaha's future. And we only have about maybe 11 or 12 years left on the current contract, which means we're going to, probably in a few years start negotiating with the NCAA. I'm personally just going to come out and say it. I hope we have to expand the stadium. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things that could come up with the new contract. And, it's hard to believe that the new stadium opened, we still call it new, in 2011. And here we are 13 years in already. Yeah, it's a 13-year-old stadium. It's not new anymore. It's just new-ish. But it's still great. I mean, it still has all the amenities. It's still open concourse. You can see from everywhere, great seats. They did a really nice job. And when it was constructed 13 years ago, it was engineered so that you could add on an additional 10,000 seats. Let's hope we eventually need them. That would be so cool. Hey, we have a restaurant review available for you this week, written by Chris Corey, who does all of our restaurant and movie reviews. It's part of our Grow Omaha Eats series. And we decided this week to go back and revisit an old Omaha classic, and that is V Mertz, Inside the Passageway in the Old Market, opened in 1977. I would argue, Brad, one of the
Not that I'm the most romantic guy in the world, but I would say probably one of the most romantic restaurants in Omaha.
There's nothing cooler than walking into that passageway and then looking down towards V Mertz and just seeing a space that is so unique, nothing else like it in town. And then you can dine in that space, and it's a super cool place.
Well, that's interesting to think. Like you and I know Omaha so well, and the restaurant scene and that sort of thing, and it's always kind of fun to imagine. Okay, the A&M and the volunteer fans that come into town, what places do they choose? If they choose V Mertz, I think they'd be pretty happy. Chris's review is very positive, and he brings up maybe how some things have kind of ebbed and flowed at V Mertz over the years. So if you want to see that review, just go to growomaha.com and click on reviews on the navigation bar. All right, it's time for our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. We can tell you that Eagle Mortgage has been in business for well over 30 years, doing an outstanding job with all types of loans. Most people are probably conventional VA or FHA loans, but they do some specialty loans as well. The most important things to remember, number one, they are mortgage brokers, not a bank, so they shop the market and find the best lending solution for you. Number two, they put a premium on customer service. At Eagle Mortgage, they know that buying a house is a huge decision and a source of stress for a lot of people. Their job is to take away as much of that stress as they possibly can. Work with you, find the best solution, hopefully get you that pre-approval letter so that you can go out into the home selection and purchasing derby, as it is, and be well-armed and confident. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, Brad, here's some good news, especially in light of what we were just talking about with the College World Series and so many visitors coming to town. Omaha is one of the 5 best big cities to visit for a summer vacation this year, according to an article in the New York Post. The other 4 in the top 5 were Minneapolis, Long Beach, California, Washington, D.C., and Seattle. The study considered walkability, crime, prices, ease of travel, whether the summer weather is too hot or too extreme. Now, the 5 worst destinations, Jacksonville, Florida, partly because of the heat and humidity, but also it's not walkable. Colorado Springs, their weather is good, but not walkable. Fresno, well, it's Fresno. Memphis, it's Memphis. Albuquerque, I actually kind of like Albuquerque, but Albuquerque is not a walkable city. I think they put a lot of emphasis on downtown. Our downtown right now is looking really good for summer visitors.
Yeah, there's so much going on. I mean, first of all, that's great company, the 4 other cities that we're named with, big names. But there's so much going on downtown right now, and it doesn't matter what you like to do. There's something for everyone, whether it's art, history, sports, restaurants. There's just a little bit of everything down there.
I've made it to, 2, maybe 3, I think 3 College World Series games so far. My extended family has a block of 6 tickets, and we kind of trade them back and forth, and I've had the chance to go to at least a couple, and it's fun always to walk around and take in the scene, and even if you walk all the way over to Gene Leahy Mall or to the old market, it's just alive right now. And it's so fun just to see all of the fans from different schools posing for pictures. One of the most common sights, when you go over the bridge, the 10th Street Bridge over the Gene Leahy Mall, you'll see a lot of people, posing with the skyline behind them and people taking pictures. But the reviews of downtown are really nice. It has become a really good place for a weekend trip.
It's funny you talk about the 10th Street Bridge, and it is seriously turned into like the selfie spot of downtown Omaha. I take a lot of skyline pictures up there, and every time I'm up there, every third person that walks by stops and does a selfie up there.
Does the selfie. Well, the Bellevue City Council approved an agreement with Whitewater West Industries of British Columbia, Canada, for engineering design services for that planned Bellevue Bay Water Park project. This is the big tourism destination that would be on the southwest corner of highways 34 and 75, south side of Bellevue. Design plans, we've talked about this project, but this is what's new. Design plans show 7 water slides, a large water playground with 6 slides, and a Flow Rider Double, which is a surf simulator. Oh, wait, maybe that's different. A Flow Rider Double, which is a surf simulator, yes. That would be good for Trenton to participate in. We should send
Can you
Trenton.
picture Trenton surfing?
When that thing opens, we are making Trenton go and do the surf simulator.
And we will have it on the Grow Omaha page for sure.
Yeah, it might break all of our records for most views on the Grow Omaha video page. All right, Community Alliance, a nonprofit mental health agency, is opening its new facility at 72nd and Mercy Road on June 27th. The agency will provide counseling, psychiatric, and pharmacy services. It's a 127,000 square foot building. Donations came from the Hawks Foundation and state-issued ARPA funds altogether. Real nice looking $67 million project.
Yeah, the building turned out really nice, but they've done a lot of really nice landscaping around the outside of it along 72nd Street. It's a really an improvement for that corner.
Yeah, there was a 1970s era office building there, about a 4-story building. For years, it had Xerox on the outside of it, and that was torn down to make way for that project. And then right east of this new Community Alliance near 72nd and Mercy Road, we've got a 4 or 5 story apartment building just getting started.
With the attached parking garage.
Well, we had groundbreaking for a groundbreaking ceremony this week for the Gretna Landing Apartments. This is a 5-building, 220-unit apartment complex northwest of 192nd and Highway 370. We mention it because it's part of the Gretna Landing project, where we are expecting Fleet Farm to eventually be constructed. And it's nice to see momentum in that area.
Yeah, this will be just west of where the Fleet Farm owns the land. And it's just one of many projects in there that are either completed and open or just getting started. You know, the Hy-Vee across the street, the world's largest Hy-Vee, kind of started it, and that's starting to fill in with different restaurants and banks and stuff around it now. And then, so you go west of 192nd, and there's a Walgreens that's already open. There's I think it's a Chase Bank or Bank of America, one of the two.
Pretty sure Chase.
Getting ready to open, I believe. And then another lot to the west of that started, and then the apartments.
Well, and then speaking of Fleet Farm, we've been expecting one to start construction near on the south side of West Maple between 180th and maybe like 183rd or 184th, somewhere in that range. But and that's still hasn't started as last I checked. But interestingly, very close to that, Nebraska Elite Volleyball plans to build a sports complex on the immediate southwest corner of 180th and West Maple Road, 175,000 square feet with 12 volleyball courts, 6 basketball courts that could also be convertible to 36 pickleball courts, as well as 2 indoor sand volleyball courts, plus training rooms, meeting rooms, and offices, et cetera, et cetera. So that would presumably be between 180th Street and the anticipated Fleet Farm along West Maple.
Yeah, just west of the new Costco, which will be opening here in the next month or so.
Oh, I tell you what, people are excited about that. And as a guy whose office is located at 132nd and Dodge, close to the Dodge Costco, I pray to God that half of those Costco shoppers move to the new one on 180th and Maple so I can move around my neighborhood during lunch hour.
Yeah, at least you're on the other side of 132nd, so you don't have to be on that access road.
Sometimes I drive by on Dodge and the access road, like for people that want to go from the access road to 132nd Street, will be backed up like a third of a mile. It's crazy.
We almost looked at a daycare over there when we were looking for daycares. And I flat out said, I'm not going on that road every single day of my life. No way.
That was
that was immediately, before we even looked at it, I said no.
Disqualified. And with that, we conclude your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Going to take our first break of the hour. And when we come back, Brad and I are going to interview Dave Critser. He is the owner of Perkins Critser Construction and going to talk to us about some cool projects going on and about the construction industry in Omaha in general. You're going to enjoy getting to know Dave, so stay with us. You are listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics. Brad Williams substituting for Trenton Magid. We'll be back in a moment right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
The screen door chair is getting louder this week.
The what?
The screen door chair.
It's funny. My chair at my office squeaks 10 times worse than that. And I do a ton of webinars for my office, and during the webinar, if I move, I got to get that chair replaced.
I always joke when I listen to the replay of the show, I can hear whoever's sitting in his chair.
Wow. Which is normally Trenton. Although sometimes they might switch them back and forth.
That Chick-fil-A and the Menards and stuff over there too, they're horrible to get to. And the Chick-fil-A is also terrible as far as, I mean, it's kind of weird the way it's positioned in there. But we tried to go in there a couple different times because the kids love Chick-fil-A. Yeah. And the line is to the front door, right? Yeah. I don't understand how it's so busy.
I don't get it. Because I do like Chick-fil-A. Not as much as Popeyes. I do like Chick-fil-A.
And those lines pretty quick, don't they?
They do, but sometimes they just overwhelm the property. Like they'll go around the building, through the parking lot, and start to get out to that road, which is also for Costco traffic. Costco.
I drive down 120th because I work at Bergman's on 94th and F. So going home, that access road is always filled because everybody's trying to go on there. So I always remember to drive in the right lane going home. Seriously, because it'll be backed up all the way, and then if people are turning off of Dodge, sometimes they'll actually block it just because they're trying to get on that access road.
You can sneak into the neighborhood, can't you? Go
from the north
of Costco.
From the north, you can, yeah.
Which I'm told the neighbors over there just hate. You had to do it though. But
should be 3 or 4 of them probably if it was a new development.
I mean, and really, if you think about it, back in the urban days, there would have been access to something like that from all 4 directions.
Right.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler.
But that is a cluster through there. I had an appointment at that Panera yesterday at 9 o'clock, and even at that time of day, it gets pretty rough. But lunch,
and my office is there in Miracle Hills.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So, I'm limited. I don't even go that way for lunch because I'm like, sometimes I'll try and sneak into the barbecue place in front of Menards.
Oh, swine dining?
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's rough.
Do they stay pretty busy? Swine dining seem to be.
Swine dining's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Porky Butts. Porky Butts is, I was thinking of the movie from the 80s. Porky Butts is, I think, my favorite.
I just wish they had more than one location.
Yeah, and it wasn't way in the far northwest corner.
Yep.
If you think you have GA,
there's one. We went. Gary Saddlemeyer and I do every couple months. We do a barbecue thing. We've been doing this for years, and we did the one at 108th and Q.
Hello, Omaha fans.
It was pretty good.
Senior Director for Cheer Athletics
What's
Omaha.
that?
Do you have an athlete at home that wants to
can't remember
start
what
their
it
tumbling
was.
skills? What about
No, it's
taking that
southwest of
skill to the
108th
next
and Q.
level?
So
We have the best
it's a few
coaches in the
blocks
region
south
to
of
help you
Ottawa.
develop those
It's tucked
skills.
in that. It's tucked in that old.
Ever considered joining
Like the
All-Star
where
Cheer?
like Roxbury.
Yeah, tucked back in there.
I've seen it. I can't remember what it
It's
is.
pretty good.
Best teams in the country. Go to caomaha.com.
Yeah, it's worth giving it a
and come
try.
join
Are you
the
ready?
All-Star Cheer
Yeah.
Revolution. Cheer
Just stay here and.
Oh yeah, just
Make
be
sure you
real
talk
close
straight
to the
in.
mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Trump versus Biden. Don't miss the News Radio 1110 KFAB debate viewing party Thursday night at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals with you, sitting next to Brad Williams of Brad Williams Photography and A Consulting. Brad substituting for Trenton, who has the weekend off. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. If you have a kid or a grandkid or maybe a niece or a nephew that wants to get involved and be competitive and build themselves, look into Cheer Athletics. It is part of All-Star Cheer, which is the most popular and generally considered the elite level of the sport of All-Star Cheer, which is wildly popular and growing all of the time. Cheer Athletics offers novice, regional, and even national co-ed teams that compete with the best teams in the country. To learn more, go to caomaha.com, CA as in Cheer Athletics, caomaha.com. Well, we have with us our friend Dave Critser. He is one of the owners of Perkins Critser Construction and the sponsor of our Lightning Round here on Grow Omaha. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I've been a big fan of you guys, so I'm kind of proud to be here and being part of the show. So
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And we're a fan of everything you and your colleagues are doing. And we do appreciate you being one of our key sponsors. And one of the things we love to do whenever we're talking with someone from a construction company is to talk about some of the projects you're doing. And we'll get to that in a moment. But why don't we start by first having you just kind of give us an overview of what Perkins Critser Construction is all about?
Well, I mean, as you said multiple times on the show, we're a Class A general contractor. We've got, I think we're about 25 and growing right now as far as guys, between guys and gals. So project managers, superintendents, office staff. We have in-house carpenters, laborers. So we try and self-perform projects we can, and then obviously have a great network of subs going. So, we do a lot of stuff in Omaha, Nebraska, Omaha, throughout Nebraska. We're in Iowa, Sioux City, a lot of different places. So,
why don't you give our listeners a kind of an overview of the type of projects you like to work on?
Projects we do, commercial, it's all commercial. So we've done a lot of big box. Actually, it's one of the big things we've been doing now is big box, white box, and renovating, splitting the tenants because, as you know, the market's changed quite a bit over the years. So we're doing a lot of retail. We've got healthcare, medical office buildings, then restaurants. You've heard several of the restaurants we're doing. Flex buildings, industrial. Really got a great experience and a strong team of experience over the years. So just range in size from small stuff all the way up to multi-million.
We're talking with Dave Critser, owner of Perkins Critser Construction here in Omaha. And Dave, let's talk about some of the projects that you guys have going on right now. What are you working on these days?
So right now we're kind of wrapping up that Miracle Hills shopping center is one of the big ones we've been working on for, some people might say, too long now, but it's taken a while. When you get into those rehab projects, they take a while versus, ground up's a little bit cleaner, I guess, sometimes. So we're wrapping up that in the final phases, touch-ups, starting to see, working with the landlords, my business partner who's landlord as well. So working with their team and future tenants coming in, looking at white boxes and budgeting for some announcements I think you'll see in the near future that are coming in. And then we are, we're working in Norfolk on the Sunset Plaza Mall. Right now we're working on the phase that is TJ Maxx we're building out, hoping to open that this fall. Jersey Mike's, we wrapped up one at Metro Crossing, and we're out in North Platte working on one there. Several small tenant finish projects. We just breaking ground in a week or so on Popeye's restaurant on 167th and Maple. Ziggy's Coffee went through the permitting process, so we finally got that started, and footings went in this week. That'll open early fall this year. So. And
Ziggy's Coffee, that's on West Q, right?
Yep, 201st and Q Street.
So 201st and Q Street, is that on the north side of Q?
It is.
Okay.
It's right in front of that daycare that's there.
Oh, okay. I've heard a lot of good things about Ziggy Coffee. I think they opened one recently in Lincoln.
Yeah, they have one in Lincoln, and then I believe it's Fairbury.
Fairbury, Nebraska?
Yep.
Okay.
You mentioned the 114th and Dodge project, and I think for a while that was one of the biggest questions we got on the show is what's going in there, what's going on with that. Mm-hmm. And for the listeners that haven't been by there in a while, it really looks good. It's really turned out nice, and I think tenants are going to be flocking there because that's still one of the primary intersections of Omaha. I know you probably can't name any names or anything, but can you tell us kind of what the client or the tenant mix is looking like?
Yeah, a lot of it's food and entertainment that we're seeing. So some food and entertainment, some specialty retail. The Boston market's pretty close to getting leased to another restaurant coming in there. So that'll be good to see. We've got the one end of it has office space and for the UNMC, and then we're starting to backfill from there.
So that space that UNMC has, isn't that something to do with pharmacy?
Yeah, it's a distribution for them.
Okay. And then you'll just kind of fill in from there. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that one. And then you mentioned the Popeye's restaurant at 167th and Maple. That's one we had heard that was under consideration a few years ago. And if I understand correctly, it's a block or two south of Maple, isn't it? Where there was maybe a couple houses that were removed recently.
There's a green space there, and I think that there's about 3 or 4 acres. So the owner of that Popeyes owns a couple different sites there, so he's got some plans of other developments on that. But we're starting grading here in the next couple of weeks. I know that it's been something that's been on and off the table for a while, but it's getting ready to go.
So a couple things we've talked about here on Grow Omaha over the last couple months. You guys have also been involved in some of the boba tea places. Tell us about those. So a long time ago, with the first one that came in, Tommy Pang, that owns Thirst Tea, I built the very first one with him at Midtown Crossing when I was with a different company, and just developed a good relationship with him. So I've worked with him over the years. He most recently opened one in Bellevue, and then Sakai Sushi is one of the companies or one of the restaurants he's partners in too. So we opened those two in Bellevue, and it's, we talked about before, there was one that was Thirsty, another boba tea shop that's opening on 167th Maple. They are actually, or 168th Maple. They are actually rebranded to Boba Fi. So, and they're two different. I mean, they serve boba tea, but one has ice cream. The other one has more of the sandwiches or snacks, stuff like that Tommy has. Well, Dave, we appreciate you joining us today to kind of give us an overview of some of these projects. If anyone wants to get a hold of you to talk about any projects that they may want to have bid, how do they go about doing that?
You can email me, call me. Dave at p-cconstruction.com is my email. Google us. Obviously, P-C Construction is a website that will be upgrading, but shows a little bit about us, talks about us, and happy to talk to anybody about any size project and get in early on, help out however I can.
Well, we appreciate that. Appreciate your time. And
thank you.
And once again, Dave, thanks to you and your colleagues for being part of the Grow Omaha team and sponsoring our Perkins Critser Construction Lightning Round, which is going to be a particularly good one here later today.
Thank you.
All right, Dave Critser from Perkins Critser Construction. As he mentioned, you can find them online at p-cconstruction.com. Going to take our break for the news, and when we come back, Brad and I are going to be talking about the streetcar downtown. Got some new financial information about that, some of which is really going to raise an eyebrow or two. Pretty impressive stuff. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Thank you. I blanked in the beginning because as far as talking about yourself, it's hard.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about yourself. Yeah.
And I've been doing it so long, it's like, here's kind of what we do. But
you did great.
I say you made it 10 times worse in your mind than you know. It didn't come across.
It sounded really good, actually.
Yeah. You did come across.
Sounded really good.
Thank you.
You'll see it when you watch the video. No, it was good.
Good.
It was good.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stick around if you want.
I probably will, actually.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Live studio. We like having a live studio audience, except for when we light up the laugh sign. You'll have to give us a good hearty belly laugh.
Yeah.
Just be careful, we're on Uncut now too. So.
I watch it every week on podcasts when you're done too. So
do you watch the uncut version or the official?
I watch the uncut.
I love talking to people who watch the video. I'm always interested in who watches uncut and who does the more efficient, just the program. It's about half and half.
You can tell I watch it in cut because then I'll text you guys.
Usually it's, what the hell was Trenton thinking saying? Why did Trenton say? I can't believe Trenton said.
You do have to be careful though, giving out your personal email address and then saying I'll talk to anyone about anything because you might get some.
Well, but a lot of times that's how I get in. Is somebody that's thinking about what to do, what they want to do.
I was on and we were talking about whatever, and I had an art fair the next weekend, and this lady showed up with the art fair with a whole bunch of information.
I didn't think about
she
that.
wanted. She was trying to open like it was like a cake pan museum or a bread pan museum or something. It was the most random thing ever. Yeah. She's like, I have 15,000 baking pans. I need to get a museum going.
Yeah, that's a lot of baking pans.
I'd go see that though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you're a foodie.
Yeah. I like baking and cooking. So.
For all the uncut people, that voice you hear is the Chris Corey, who writes the Grow Omaha Eats and Grow Omaha Flicks reviews. He also is video guru extraordinaire and owner of Arbor Creative marketing agency. An all-around good guy.
I like that last part.
Yeah. An all-around. Hey, 9 days out of 10, he's an all-around good guy.
90%. That works.
Still in
I don't
A.
remember. Did his review say how long B-Merch has been there?
Well, it did.
77.
77. Yeah, he had the date on there.
Everyone says they like working.
Yeah,
with
it's
their
crazy.
local
I never get tired. We go there for our anniversary every
Yeah.
November.
Just the
Yeah,
biggest
I love
investment
that
most
place.
of us ever
And
make.
in Trini's
They
has
grab their phone and start playing with
been there
apps.
forever. Yeah.
Don't contact Holly and her fun and
I haven't.
professional staff
The
right
food
here in
at
Omaha
Trini's I've
and
always thought was
Eagle Mortgage,
okay,
where your mortgage
but
is
the
atmosphere-
financed
the atmosphere-
by
the atmosphere's why you go.
national lenders on rates and
Well, sometimes the atmosphere
Eagle
can make the food
Mortgage
taste better.
online
Totally,
at
yeah.
It's gotta be intriguing.
eaglemortgagecompany.com.
I'm walking by it to get to the
2376.
Yeah.
It smelled good.
Yeah, I think if you get the basics there, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
There's Mexican places I like better, but again, it's so fun to be there because the atmosphere is so cool.
Probably had that towards the end of the summer.
Might as well, yeah.
Trump remains
Yeah.
on the campaign trail in some swing states.
That'd be
but
cool. I mean,
he's not staying
it's
out on the trail because
decent Mexican
they
food.
think
I
Biden's
don't-
gonna
Yeah,
come tough.
yeah, it's
Nothing against it at all. No.
yeah. It's not. There may be some places I'd go to more
Oh,
for
yeah.
food, but that atmosphere is tough to beat. It's tough to beat.
Did you, when you were at any of the games, did you go up to Millward Commons or the Ashton Building and to their little Dingerville and stuff? Did you go up there? Cross Train had a Dingerville going between.
I went into Cross Drain, but I don't remember like with
It was
campers and things like that.
Not camper, but they had like tents set up and a beer garden and all. But it's usually only the first 4 days or whatever.
I don't remember seeing that because I was in there.
From the stadium. What? Where's it from the stadium? About 2 blocks north. And it's on the north side of the Ashton Building. So between that and the park.
So you got those two hotels directly north of the home plate entrance.
Yep.
It's north of that.
By 2 blocks.
2 blocks, yeah, because then you have the Disney Mule project, then you have the Ashton Building.
It's a great big 5-story, 4-story brick building. It says factory on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the building. What they've done inside the Ashton Building is
Cool. Yeah.
like I had a coffee meeting there
From eye-catching murals and window
last
films to recognition and history walls
it
and
was like
more.
Thursday
We have the
morning or something
expertise
like
to
that.
transform your
And it
space.
was like
last week,
So whether
we
you're
were
looking to
on
impress
meeting.
clients,
I think I
or
was
smile,
there
or
for
just selling a
until
check some
Friday.
personality,
Great.
Come
we've
and
got
go
you
over
covered.
here.
Check us out today at
Nolan's Bakery, coffee
I
shop.
thought I hit switch, but they had it during
Just
Dan's
do
show.
little half
I thought I
restaurant,
hit
half
switch or
convenience
something, or
stores
they
open right
did
there.
it during the
Cool
Mr.
place.
Mechanic. And then Bob's like, no, I
It's
saw
called
too
Airroom or
much
something?
going on with
Cool
these school
place.
versus system.
What office tents
So
right
anyway,
now?
fast
There's some
forward
tech
to
company upstairs.
Tuesday,
I can't
Scott's
remember.
producing every
Flywheel's
show.
gone completely.
And it did it to Emory.
Or is it-
And that's when they do
Isn't it-
whoever bought
isn't it what-
Flywheel
what
phones,
Flywheel
they switch
became?
out the whole system.
Aren't they still up there, I think?
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know.
I don't know what their new name is,
Yeah.
but I still think it was Flywheel.
I'm just glad I wasn't crazy.
There were
On
office
that
workers
Saturday
constantly
morning, I
going,
felt
you know,
awful.
you always
I
think,
thought
oh,
I
everyone's
had
working
done
from
something,
home.
and then it's
There were
like, no, there's
office workers coming in, going up those elevators.
I feel the same way.
They were pretty young, you know, a lot of
Yeah, that could have been really bad.
young office workers all wear backpacks.
Phone line.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? One of the
I just do a
the
thing.
old
Just another
guys at work,
adventure, right?
Some guy
not
yelling
that
at his
old, but
dog.
older
Yeah.
compared to a lot of our staff. Why is everyone
I'm just glad that nobody like
Yeah,
swore.
they all wear backpacks.
Yeah.
When I was in college,
Right.
I was an undergrad from '87 to '91, and in those days, only nerds would wear
Like
both
the other
straps.
back in broadcast
So it
room,
was bad for me to do this, but we would all just put one
Second week
strap
back.
over it, or we would get just single straps for side bags.
Yeah.
And so to
Well,
this
there's
day,
anything I learned
even though
about
now
this
it's
line of work. is
totally
Murphy's
in
Law
style
always
and it's
applies.
better for your body.
Right.
Every time I see it, I'm like, hey, look at that guy.
And I have a backpack because I always have plans in my hand or something else, so I just try and keep my hands free. And I still think of myself, I'm like,
Yeah, I can't believe I'm putting on both straps. But now that's actually, if you only put one strap on now, you look like an idiot.
yep. We were in New York City for vacation last week and backpacks.
One of my favorite is when I was helping a buddy with
Schlep
a
bags,
commercial.
the schlep bags.
Somehow he
Bags and
lost it.
backpack.
Shot list.
I have to put both straps on or my shoulders will
Yeah,
win.
you're gonna be in the hospital someday or physical
Shoulder
therapy or whatever.
surgery.
That's dingmans.com.
Yeah, it was stupid that we only put one strap on.
Where was that Popeye's going? You said 162nd?
7th.
Oh,
Just
66.
you know where McDonald's
That's
is?
my job.
On,
Okay, thanks, Bill.
1,400 people said
If you don't want me to do that, I won't.
No,
That's
please
something-
do.
That's something that I do.
That one, okay.
Right there. No, please, it helps actually,
Okay,
so
very
thank you.
good.
I wish
Said
they'd
it's
get
here
that
bumper.
Bedford Ave finished all the way through there.
Yeah.
This section and that need to be
Totally agree.
This whole place would be better off.
It would help a lot.
So, did you see the farm houses are gone now?
Donate today at
So what do you know if anything's planned for those? Oh, here we go.
There is something a whole lot of us are carrying around with us every single day that is just not healthy. It's the Rosie Did You Nosy on the podcast page under Jim Rose.
Rosie, busy making all of us healthy. Jeff Beals here in the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue. I'm sitting next to Brad Williams from E&A Consulting, civil engineering firm, also the owner of Brad Williams Photography, key part of our Grow Omaha team in substituting for Trenton Magid, who is taking the weekend off. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Dingman's, 4 metro area locations, and I'm not going to tell you one of them is better than the other because they all are great. It doesn't matter whether you take your car to 120th and Maple or 144th and Industrial or downtown Papillion or Midtown Saddle Creek location. They'll all take pretty good care of you and make that car just like new. Well, Brad and I want to talk a little bit about the streetcar, and the mayor had a press conference this week, and we got some interesting news. The cost of the streetcar is going up, not a shock because of materials and labor and everything else, but it's rather irrelevant because the way that the streetcar is being funded is through part of the tax increment financing paid to developers going back to cover the streetcar. Well, the new estimate of real estate development within the few blocks north and south of the streetcar line that will be used to pay for said streetcar has nearly doubled from the earlier projections. The first projections were $2 billion worth of collateral or consequential real estate development because of the streetcar over the next 15 years. We're already up to $3.9 billion. And we haven't even started construction on the thing. So the financing side of it looks fantastic, even though the cost, not surprise, keeps going up.
It's not a streetcar thing either. Everything in construction pretty much has gone up over the last couple of years. This was announced in 22, right?
Yes.
And you think about what things cost in 2022 and what things cost today, and it's what's happening.
Well, and I do want to just kind of throw one thing in here really fast, too, because I know on the part of some people who don't like the idea of the streetcar, and I think a lot of the people who don't like it don't fully understand that it's not a taxpayer burden. I think Jean, the mayor, has taken a little heat that she doesn't deserve. She was very hesitant for years about the whole streetcar thing because she is very opposed to tax increases. And I, as a taxpayer in the city, I appreciate that about her. And she did not get on board with this until the group of people, a lot of real estate developers, a lot of community enthusiasts came up with a plan that could be done without a tax increase. That's this plan. It's a darn good plan, and it's really safe. Now, one thing that we want to mention, though, and the little bit of time we have left here in this section, is that the updated version or the updated total of $3.9 billion in a collateral development or adjacent development of the streetcar comes from 26 development and construction projects in the urban core. Some of these have been announced. Some of these have not yet been announced. We've got a little information on them, but not particulars. This is fascinating. So of the 26 projects, looks like 6 of them were announced in 2022. These are apartments at 48th and Dodge, the flats at Howard, 24th and Howard, the 1501 Mike Fahey Wood Timber Building, the Keyline Building by the County Courthouse, the Dizzy Mule in North Downtown, and Project Beacon, which is the Mutual of Omaha skyscraper.
And the 22 projects total $660 million. So
yeah, that alone is pretty good. And then 2023 brought us the Leavenworth Lofts at 36th and Leavenworth, a couple of apartment projects a little bit south of Leavenworth at about 30-something, and then the Square Apartments right at 30th and Park Avenue. That's over.
Yeah, 80 million in 23.
Okay. Then the 2024 projects, a renovation of the Service Life building at 19th and Farnham, a 5-story apartment building in North Downtown, a 5-story apartment building kind of southwest of the old market. The Duo, which is New Style's $164 million redo of the 2 Twin Towers, and another project in Millwork Commons. But then, Brad, this is fascinating. The city has 11 projects that are not yet named.
Yeah.
That are part of the 26 projects.
You know, and some of those projects, price tags are $60 million, $60 million, $50 million, $75 million. Total so far for 2024 is another $622 million of new projects.
And so when the mayor and the head of the chamber and some other people have been saying lately, for instance, when we had the press conference for the Duo, the mayor said, we have these other projects to announce. And she hinted about that a little bit later. This is what we're talking about. Apparently, for whatever reason, probably because they're still early in the process, they have not been identified. But these are some monster projects coming up downtown.
Huge projects. And would it be safe to assume that none of the projects on that list, the unnamed ones, none of those would include Mutual of Omaha's current campus yet, right?
No, because that's so far off because the skyscraper won't be done until deep into 2026. And so
I mean, we could have another year or two of another huge number lists.
The other thing it doesn't take into account is we kind of periodically hear some rumor rumblings here at Grow Omaha that there could be some big things on, like I said, Brad just said, some of these 11 projects are up to $75 million. We keep hearing rumblings that something a lot bigger than that could be coming down the pike as well, partially sparked because of the streetcar.
And think of the streetcar route. You got a big empty lot at 10th and Farnham, that could have a huge building on it. You still have the empty lot on 10th Street in front of the Mercantile that could have a huge building on it. And there's the state office building that we all want to get demolished next week.
I would love that to happen.
Could have a great development on it. So there's so much potential down there right now.
I've hated the state office building ever since they tore down the Woodman of the World building to build it. But that's probably a topic for another show. So anyway, a lot of cool stuff in the urban core, a lot of good things to look forward to. We are going to be on that like white on rice and keep you updated with these projects. Not
included in this update, but I've talked to a couple people, and it does sound like no real action on the streetcar construction. The utility work's going on now, but the actual physical construction of the streetcar will probably all start next year at this point. So the construction you do see along the streetcar line is preparatory utility work and underground work. Well, let's take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, it'll be the Turner Construction Lightning Round, brought to you by Perkins Critser Construction. I'm looking at the list, and it looks pretty substantial. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
When you're in the mood for some of country's greatest hits,
I really want to know what these are, because we're seeing these are in millions of dollars. 60, 60, 50, 5, 5, 7, 50, 40, 30, 18, 75. These are some big, all along the urban core that we purportedly expect to be announced in 2024.
Well, it's got to be multi-family residential type stuff.
I think my guess is out of the 11, my guess is probably at least 7 or 8 are multi-family.
Yeah, because they keep saying office is kind of stagnant right now.
And we've got some empty office.
Are you thinking about selling your business?
I've been hearing rumors that the main bank 22 black class First National might go multifamily. I thought I heard a rumor that some of the office floors at the Farnham Hotel building might go condo.
We're good at helping
there have been rumors that the OPPD building might go residential. Maybe those are among them.
Your goals for growth.
Then you'll post this, and then you get all the people screaming about TIF.
Oh yeah. You'll also find we're good with people.
Do you do many TIF projects? I do actually, but a lot. And actually, one of the things I've
FDIC
kind of, I don't want to say especially, but one of the things that I'm pre-construction there. So I get involved early on. People that are working on tips, I'm up front to kind of help them create the tips, and it's something I'm kind of passionate about. I've loved to do over the years. So
we post anything on our social media about TIF, and people just scream like the mayor's just walking up and handing a pile of cash.
It's like they don't even understand.
You have no clue how it works.
They don't understand how it works.
Just giving our money away to all these rich developers.
No, we're not.
Yeah, it's like kind of like you have no clue.
It's like you want to say to these people, do you want to have a downtown that looks like ours, or do you want to have St. Louis's downtown?
Yeah.
The current system is delivering a great downtown.
It is.
And then the taxes are not going up in the city.
Yeah.
So
Really, it's all we have.
Yeah.
It's the only mechanism to do stuff. Yep.
How about getting into a heated debate about the debate? Yes, we talked about all of the angles and why maybe a third person should have been on the stage. You can hear all of the angles on the Emery Swanger podcast page at kfab.com.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Brad Williams, who's substituting for Trenton. It is time for your Perkins Critser Construction Lightning Round. You heard it from the man himself. Dave Critser was here earlier. Telling us about some of the projects that they have going on, whether it's large shopping center redos, working with malls in Norfolk, countless restaurants here in the Omaha area. But if you are looking for an outstanding contractor for your next building project, look to PC Construction. They're a full-service Class A general contractor, take good care of you, doing work in the metro area and as far out as North Platte, Sioux City, and environs, we will say. So thanks to Perkins Critser Construction for making this possible. All right, are you ready, Brad?
I'm ready.
How excited are people for Saddle Creek Breakfast Club to finally be open at Countryside Village?
It's like they teased them for a year and a half by putting the sign up early, but it's finally here.
It's here, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolute home run. Frank's Pizzeria announced its downtown location in the Capital District will reopen soon under new ownership. A lot of people love that Frank's Pizzeria. It has been available at the Alley in Bellevue at 601 Chateau Drive. Not sure about any of the other Frank's Pizzeria locations out west.
I think some of them have already been rebranded, or not rebranded, but other tenants have taken some of those spaces. So I don't know any others are coming back.
Got some good news at the Westroads. Rally House will open its 4th metro area store in August in the Westroads in the former Go Calendar space. It's by Von Maur on the first floor. Kansas City-based Rally House sells specialty sports apparel, gifts, and home decor. They, like I said, have 3 other stores in the metro area. Also at the Westroads, Rue 21, which is a teen apparel retailer that went out of business nationally earlier this year. They closed all 550 stores. That concept has been acquired by a company called YM Inc. They purchased the brand, and they are going to only open 101 of the 540 Rue 21 stores. The Westroads is one of those locations. Exact opening date for the Westroads Rue 21, not yet been announced, but fairly soon. Okay, we've got Progress Downtown. We love downtown retail because it builds up the urban core. The UPS store is now open in the former Takechi Jewelry space in the Keyline building at 321 South 17th Street. That's just east of the Douglas County Courthouse. 7-story building. The Keyline building recently went through a very nice, almost $7 million renovation.
Yeah, and UPS store is one of those neighborhood businesses that not only businesses need, but a lot of people use them for personal stuff too. So it's a great neighborhood business to have there. Good
service for the downtown area. A cat boarding facility, yes, and kitty cats. A cat boarding facility known as the Catios has opened at 6153 Military Avenue in historic Benson. The owner describes it as a hotel that's cat-oriented, but also designed to house small mammals. Hopefully they keep the cats and the small mammals separated.
I feel like since I'm filling in for Trenton, I should have had a joke ready for that, but we'll go to the next thing.
Well, we threw it on you, so you didn't have time to prepare. Big Chicken, a fast casual restaurant franchise owned by legendary basketball player Shaquille O'Neal, plans to expand to Omaha. Local entrepreneurs, which are a father and son duo, are bringing 2 Big Chicken locations to Omaha. Exact locations not yet announced. This concept was founded in 2018, has 32 locations in 18 states. The closest existing one is inside the Kansas City Airport Terminal.
Does Shaq come for the grand opening?
I would imagine if he did, there would be quite a line of people to get autographs. Ashland Brewing Company plans to open next summer, the summer of 2025, near Highways 6 and 66 in Ashland. This is going to be a 10,600 square foot brew pub. It'll have 4 pickleball courts, a rooftop deck, outdoor seating with fire pits. Very, very nice. It'll be part of what's being called the Whitetail development.
Sounds like if you took chicken and pickle and added a brewery on it.
You might have the Ashland Brewing Company.
Sounds like a cool place.
Well, we mentioned a while back that the Gretna location of Lansky's near 168th and Highway 370 is changing its name to 531. That has happened. Same ownership, but that restaurant now serves authentic Amoroso's hoagies and new meat options. The Lansky's locations at 50th and L and Council Bluffs remain unchanged, still are called Lansky's. Cafe Botanica has opened in Lakeside at 2575 South 171st Court. Also has locations at 1 Pacific Place and down in Lincoln. To celebrate the grand opening, it's going to have some special promotions through June 22nd. They're kind of known for smoothies, juices, but also a food menu. Brad, everyone loves that Insomnia cookies, and the signage has gone up on their second Omaha location, which will be in the Blackstone district.
The cookie craze is interesting. First we had the crumble cookie, now the Insomnia cookie. It's a very interesting concept to come up with.
And I'm partial to Goodly cookies at 1 Pacific Place. I like that place quite a bit.
I'm impartial to all cookies.
You do not discriminate.
No.
Hawaii Fluid Art is an art studio franchise that opened in March, had its grand opening this week near 132nd and Dodge. 42 locations in 22 states. All right, music is playing, which means that we're done. I'm Jeff Beals.
I'm Brad Williams.
And Brad is substituting for Trenton. He'll be back next week. We've been brought to you by Perkins Critser Construction, also Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. We'll chat with you next week at 9 right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Nice. Dirty dough.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.